What's up? How you doing? Hoping you're having a good day. I seen this post and I haven't had a chance to say nothing, and I'm on a driving thought kind of thing. And I apologize for the wind. My car air conditioning, because as the whole, I don't have the stuff to reset it yet for my AC, so you're probably going to hear the wind from the windows. Then when I get the thing, I refill it and do the summer. But that's neither here nor there. So what is going on is I just want to make a quick video about this because I thought this was kind of ridiculous. So I seen Dean Cain said couldn't help but laugh, and they're talking about the Christian Dad thing about Millie Alcock being Supergirl, and people are like, well, this isn't my Supergirl. And I'm like, okay. Firstly, there's different versions of Supergirl. Now, I am not the biggest fan of Tom King's stuff, but Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, a lot of people like it. And even in the New 52, Supergirl had a little bit more of an edge compared to Superman. Even though Superman was a little edged up in the New 52, but she was like kind of a little bit more. And even in My Adventures with Superman, Supergirl, they did a thing where she's more of a weapon. Now, I love Melissa Benoist's version of Supergirl. She's the happy, old school, OG Supergirl, in the sense that she's like, oh, I'm going to be the good hero, the wholesome hero. Basically, she's kind of in so many words, she's a carbon copy of Superman, but has a little bit of trauma because she actually remembers, Argo City. She remembers Krypton, stuff like that. They've done different versions of her, even in Supergirl Legion of Superheroes, the cartoon movie from the Tomorrowverse that they did. So here's something I've had an issue with. First off, this starts off with, I'm going to start this up with Dean Cain. So you're laughing and you're upset because she said the only people complaining about this movie and stuff are the Christian dads. Okay, opinion, do I agree with that opinion? No. Some people could have some legitimate gripes. I've seen a few, but a lot of people's whole thing is that why is Supergirl drunk? Why is Supergirl doing this? Even though the whole Woman of Tomorrow thing and the idea, which is not a terrible way to go about it, is that she's dealing with the situation of remembering and living through this. And from what we can see, it hasn't been, Superman's been Superman in the new movie for what, about 3 years, give or take, right? And so he met her within his couple years of her. So it's kind of a thing of where it's like she's dealing with this. This is still a very recent trauma, and seems like a story where she has to kind of reset herself. So right now she's going into a stupor, and it's the same. And it's funny because it's kind of the same argument people made with Man of Steel. They were like, why in the first movie they're like, why wasn't Superman saving kittens from the trees and stuff? And to the point where David Corso as Superman saves a squirrel, which I still thought was great because he's the Silver Age Superman, he would do that. But at the same time, it's like, wait, what are we doing here? Because if you're gonna have Superman, like, it's his first day on the job, and people were like, it's destruction porn. So I'm like, and then I always see people do this, media literacy. Well, use your media literacy. His first day on the job, he's fighting soldiers who have his power set, and he has to deal with that. Like, that's not an easy first day on the job as a full-fledged Superman, like full first day. The dude just learned how to fly like a day prior, whatever. So for this, I'm using it as, okay, she's going to deal with this, and she's going to have a little bit more edge to her for this, and eventually this is her dealing with her depression, dealing with everything going. Now, I get it. If you're like, well, I like my Supergirl to be wholesome, like Melissa Benoist's version or something. Cool, great. There's different versions of Superman, Superwoman, all these people. Same way how Tyler Hoechlin's Superman is not the same as the Man of Steel Superman. There's some differences. He's 10 years in. So they can kind of reinterpret the character as long as the core of the character is still there, which I don't care what anyone says. Throughout the thing, even though Cavill was done a little dirty, he still was Superman. he was just a little bit darker. It's just because that's what the New 52 was at the time. Cry about it if you want to. It is based off of Earth 1. Go read Earth 1, and I'm tired of people, oh, no, versus stuff. He wasn't based off of any Superman. He didn't understand Superman. If he didn't, go read Earth 1. And then you tell me if that Superman isn't the Superman from the Earth 1 series. And if you're wondering what the Earth 1 series, that's the Batman Earth 1, Superman Earth 1, Wonder Woman Earth 1, Green Lantern Earth 1, and the Teen Titans Earth 1. They're like their own little separate thing. Think of it like the Absolute Universe before the Absolute Universe, but a little disjointed. It's like if that character was the only character in that world. So anyway, then I see Dean Cain do this thing where he's like, I couldn't help but laugh, or some junk like that. And I'm like, dude, first off, I met you years ago. Didn't get a picture or nothing. It was at a convention. I was like, oh man, it was kind of in passing. Oh, Dean Cain, really cool. Love your Superman show. Still love Lois and Clark, New Adventures of Superman. I was a fan. Loved it. Grew up on it. He was very nice. And he was very kind. Like, it wasn't like he was mean or something. But, so I'm not saying that you capture somebody in time and then they're just a piece of trash the whole time because you captured something in time. However, I do look at Dean Cain and go, I've watched interviews with you. I still thought, you were a good Superman. Bro, you talked about how you got teased. You're the first mixed Superman. You're like Asian and white. And you talked about how you got teased for this growing up and you were bullied for this. So why are you going online bullying Millie Alcock? Because you don't like the fact that she is she doesn't view it that way. And I've seen like the usual suspects like JDA Talks say something, Shine say something, where JDA Talks, who puts hands on women apparently, he's sitting there saying stuff like, oh, why is she dressed that way? Because she wants to dress that way. Why are you questioning how someone's dressing? I dress bummy sometimes too. You dress like the bum sometimes too. Like, dude, like, are we really doing that? And I still remember when she did Game of Thrones, and people were saying she was the ugly version of Khaleesi, and she's the Timu version of Emilia Clarke because Emilia Clarke looks better than her and stuff. And I'm like, so this is what we do? So, but then y'all get upset when she's talking about these things and the looks and stuff, and it's like, wait, y'all talking about all this junk, but I remember that. So yeah, she's like, I learned this from Game of Thrones. She knows people gonna talk trash because she feels some type of way. And when you're sitting there laughing at her, okay, you don't think she's pretty or whatever, fine. I don't think every person in Hollywood or every person in the world is pretty. That's your results may vary, but you need to tease her about her looks and stuff. I personally think she's pretty, but that's the thing. I'm not going online going, oh my gosh, she's so hot and I'm gooning over her or nothing. I'm like, you couldn't keep that to yourself? So you just had to do that because you don't like what she says. And I don't always try to come at people, but lately I'm like, yo, what are you doing? So I look at Dean Cain, and I even see some of the comments where people reacting, and I'm like, dude, from a person who gets bullied, from a person that does this, I can go here and I can turn around and be like, well, Dean, she's in a major Hollywood movie. When was the last time you were in a major Hollywood movie? Now I could be that dude. And you can sit there and be like, well, it's because I'm Christian. Well, it's because I'm this. Well, it's because I'm that. Or maybe and I enjoy some of your films and stuff, but maybe you're not as good as you think you are. Or maybe, hey, you're making a living off of the, VODs and your TV appearances and stuff, and hey, it's a living. Like, I mean, people can sit there, but if you're making money, okay. But I'm just like, dude, like, do you really need to come at her? JDA, like, is it really that bad? And I've seen like somebody say, oh, I'm not drinking from that cup or whatever. And I'm like, and it's the usual suspects. And I'm like, come on, like, can we stop with the BS? And the movie, because I know they're saying it could be Furiosa. Hey, I see some things say the movie's going to blow up and be greatness. I see some people say it's the next Furiosa. I see some people say the movie's going to flop. We'll see when it comes out. My whole thing is very simple. Stop talking trash about these people all the dang time. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, do I think it's stupid that her and some of them say some things? Yeah, saying that, oh, it's just Christian dads that don't like it. No, that's you writing people off. That's a little disrespectful. People don't want to, there are people who legitimately don't want to see Supergirl as some drunk party girl. they want her to be a wholesome character. Now, to me, that means the character arc is going to become the wholesome Supergirl everybody wants to see. They want to give her that arc where David Cornsweet was already there. That's not a bad way to take. And like I said, we need somebody with a little more edge. I don't want to see a carbon copy Superman female version. I want to see her be a little bit of a different character and stuff. So that's just me personally. I think it's bullcrap that these dudes keep talking all this trash about her. Dean Cain especially disappointed me because I'm even seeing people saying, dude, you're like the worst Superman. And to be honest with you, I'm starting to get that feeling, because being Superman, you should be like, as a person, I would feel, but you know, actor's an actor, so you know, it is what it is. But I just feel like a lot of times when most actors play Superman, they're usually genuinely good people. Like, you hear good things about them. And like I said, when I met Dean Cain, he was a very kind guy. Like, he was nice. And I don't think he's a jerk all the time, but I think he let some of his religious beliefs and his political stuff kind of twist what he had to say. So that's all I really had to say about that. I know I kind of went on a tangent a little, but it's just the arguments. I kind of wish people would kind of settle it down and let the movie speak for itself. If it was great, great. If it was bad, bad, cool. I'm going to see it. I definitely want to see Lobo, but I'm like, guys, if you don't like this new James Gunn universe, and I'm starting to notice this, like I said, some of the usual suspects don't like it because they're like, well, I want the comic books to be this way, and I want this to be that way. Like I said, like JDA talks about how he's like, oh, Absolute Batman is trash. Okay, bro. Cool story. That's cool. Seems like everybody else likes it. You're allowed to have that opinion. I get it. There's characters I don't like, but people will say, hey, it's great. But to sit there and try to then say, well, the comic book industry, because there's some people in the comic book industry who are jerks that do say messed up stuff. I get it. But also celebrate when they're doing something good too. It's like, if you watch these guys, it's like doom and gloom and DC. I don't know. So, Geek Protagonists, you stay safe, you stay healthy, stay real. Rant over. See ya.